Hello guys, Mo here and welcome to a new video with the Cyberpunk 2077 version 2.2 update. In this video I'm going to be testing the RX 6700 XT. This card is paired with Core i5 12400F and we're going to start at the Ultra settings preset, but I have turned off frame scaling, I have turned off FSR. Let's first run a quick benchmark, see how this card pairs at the 1440p resolution this time. The reason you may have noticed that I'm running the AMD overlay for this one, because we're going to be trying fluid motion frames feature frame generation with this game and see if we can get better performance that way. We're running at, if you can't see the overlay clearly, it's quite, I have increased its size, but it's running at 59-ish, less than 60 FPS right now, and we have frame generation turned off. The GPU is fully maxed out. Our GPU power is at 170, above 170-ish. GPU itself is running at 64, 65 degrees, and I haven't tuned or overclocked or underclocked it in any way. We also have 16 gigs of system RAM, DDR4 3600 MHz, and as I also said, we have the 12400F 6-core 12-thread Alder Lake CPU. It's showing a CPU utilization at around 75 or 80%. I don't know how accurate that is, because Afterburner typically produces a lower CPU utilization figure. Let's have a look at the results. Our average FPS is at 53.59 FPS, minimum at 44.34, and the rest of the specifications you can see here. Let's go back to the main menu and load into the game to see what kind of frame rates we're getting in the actual game itself. We're gonna start tweaking our settings to see how much higher performance we can get out of this thing. Okay, continue.
Hey everyone, welcome to Info Flash. Say, did y'all lose power yesterday too?
Alright, we're running at this area of the game. The reason I have loaded this save is because I want to show you what kind of visual artifacts FSR frame generation produces. As you can see, we're running at around less than 50 FPS back there as we're moving around this area. 47, 44, it's looking not the smoothest, not the best experience as you can see. But it can get a lot worse. Let's turn on FSR 3. I'm not running any mods right now because I want to see the default out-of-the-box experience, and we're not going to be running FSR 3 native. Let's try FSR 3 quality and get some extra performance as well. And the grass and all the plants, they look absolutely awful. I wouldn't recommend playing this game at all with FSR 3. At least the default FSR 3.0 implementation that comes with this game. We're running higher frame rates, but it looks terrible, absolutely terrible. So let's turn off FSR. Even at native, it's not going to look good. It's still going to shimmer. You see, the frame rate hasn't improved at all, and in fact, it's running a lot worse. We're getting around 10 FPS less than we were with native anti-aliasing. So let's try no resolution scaling at all, and let's tweak the settings a little bit. Now let me just look at my notes here and show you the settings that I will be trying with this game right now. We're running at a custom preset. Resolution scaling is off, frame generation off, ray tracing no. If you have an AMD card, don't turn on ray tracing. You're going to tank your performance that way. Crowd density high, field of view whatever you prefer. I'm going to turn off all these settings, including motion blur. These don't actually improve the game, to my eyes at least. And the settings that matter are these. Contact shadows are turned on. Improved facial lighting geometry is turned on. I'm going to drop anisotropy to 4. Local mesh shadows and local shadow I'm going to leave at high. The shadow range is high. Shadow resolution set to high still. Distant shadow resolution, high. Now, these are the settings that lower the performance a lot. I'm going to reduce volumetric fog resolution to medium and the cloud quality also to medium. Max dynamic decals I'm going to leave at ultra. Screen space reflections at high. Subsurface scattering I'm going to leave at high. Ambient occlusion I'm going to drop to low because at least to my eyes I don't see any difference versus high. You may see a difference, but subjectively to me it doesn't actually result in a worse looking game. Alright, color precision at medium, and these two settings are at high. So we have only lowered a handful of settings, only anisotropy, volumetric fog resolution, cloud quality, screen space reflections are running at high instead of ultra, color precision is at medium, and that's it. Let's see how the game runs right now. As you can see, we have jumped from around 70, around less than 60 FPS. We're running at close to 80 right now, and it's much better. We don't have those bad artifacts around the vegetation that FSR3 and FSR2 give us. It looks much better now. It looks a lot better. Very close to ultra quality settings, if not actually, if you don't actually find any differences. I don't, at least. It looks pretty good. We're running at, right now we're not actually in a typically intensive area, but it's still running pretty good. Running at 80-ish frame rate, above 80, sometimes around 90. So let's see what kind of resolution scaling feature we can actually use. Now, I have actually tried this. If you turned on not FSR, you can't use DLSS with this game, with this card, obviously, because it's an AMD card, not NVIDIA. So if you turn on XCSS, Intel Super Sampling, and use quality settings, you're going to improve your performance quite a bit. We're up from around 85 to 90, and we're running at 115 frames per second right now. It looks very good. It looks much better than FSR2 and FSR3. Let's call a car here. Let's call Jackie's bike. Poor dude. Let's have a ride. Look at my guy looking like a clown. Just wearing anything I can get my hands on. Let's drive toward the city. Now, typically when you're driving around or you're moving or in an action-intensive game, you'll see your frame rates drop significantly, but we're still at around 100 FPS at 1440p resolution with the XCSS, because, and the reason I'm actually using XCSS is because it looks not, it doesn't, I don't think it looks as sharp as native rendering, but it doesn't look nearly as bad as FSR2 and FSR3. So far we have managed to actually get our frame rate from less than 60 FPS, sometimes 45, sometimes with FSR3 native around 30, and we're running at 100 frame rates without frame generation and with Intel XCSS super sampling. Now, the reason I have been using the AMD overlay is because it's the only way, when you enable AMD fluid motion frames, to see your additional performance, the added frames that you can get when enabling that feature. MSI Afterburner doesn't report that figure. So let's stop right here and turn on AMD Fluid Motion Frames. The shortcut for that is Alt, Shift and G if you want to try it. Hey everyone, I'm back. We had a slight technical difficulty trying to turn on AMD Fluid Motion Frames frame generation, but it's fixed now. So let's try it right now with the settings we were using previously and see how much better FPS we can get. I'm gonna press the shortcut for that, Alt, Shift and G, and we're going to see it turn on. Just now let's turn it off. Let's see our best frame rate. We're running at 96 FPS right at this scene, and when we turn it on, it jumps to 163. And you may not notice in this video, but it looks much smoother, the new version of Fluid Motion Frame that is bundled with AMD's new drivers is much better than what they were offering earlier. It produces much smoother frame times, and the overall experience is much better for it. Even though there's a slight lag introduced, and you can actually see the metric for that below the FPS figure, our frame gen lag is 8 milliseconds, which is, I mean, it's not too bad, but it also is worse than running native without any frame generation. You get 0 added frame time lag. So just with this tweaking the several settings, enabling XeSS3 and turning off Fluid Motion Frames, we're up from around 45 to 50 FPS all the way up to 160 and beyond. At 1440p, mind you, this is not 1080p actually. If let's drop the resolution down to 1080 to see what happens then. Alright, we're at video and we're dropping to 1080p. Alright, we were running around 160 and we're at 220, 230. That's amazing, guys. That's so much better. This game, when it initially came out, it was running absolutely terribly, and look at it now. We're running at 200, close to 200 FPS at 1080p at optimized settings, and we are getting close or above 220, 230, sometimes dropping to around 200 or 190, but it looks so good and runs so good. This is an intensive area, by the way. This is the city itself, with performance out in the wildlands and so on. Out in the desert might be a lot better. So I've got the weather cleared up so we can actually look at how good this game runs in this weather. This is a 6700 XT running Cyberpunk at 1080p, optimized settings, XeSS and frame generation, AMD Fluid Motion Frames, and this is the sort of performance you can expect at these settings. The reflections look, I mean, they're not ray trace reflections, but they still look quite good. Let's go back to 1440p. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. I know I first said it was going to be a short video, but I hope we all learned something from this video. I'm glad I did. You can use AMD Fluid Motion Frames and tweak your settings and get great frame rates. Cyberpunk, I think, it took a lot of flack for being unoptimized, but nowadays with the latest updates, I think this game is really great. It looks really good, runs really well. Imagine if you had a faster card. Imagine if you had a 4080 Super or a 4090 at 4K. That would be much better. but still, even at 6700 XT, runs this game like this. If you actually change your settings, tweak your settings, and it's going to be an amazing experience. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope I didn't bore you out big droning on, but thanks for watching. Please, if you like this video, click like and subscribe to the channel for future videos. There are some other games I'm going to be trying with this card to see how it runs and how, if at all, we can improve the performance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.